this as we celebrate Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month here in May. It is critical to note that the spike in hate crimes against the AAPI community over the past year, the group Stop AAPI Hate tracks these crimes and reports that physical assaults have gone up 64% in 1 year, while online harassment is up 82%. Our next guest tells her story in a powerful piece for Know Your Value. CEO of the fashion company Gravitas, Lisa Sun, joins us now, along with NBC News and investigative consumer correspondent Vicky Nguyen. Good to have you both. Lisa, I'll start with you, and Vicky, how you jumped into the story to an extent, helping out. But Lisa, what happened? I know we've worked together for a long time at Know Your Value events, and you've been working so hard in the fashion industry to develop your brand and your name. And then this happened, and nobody seemed more surprised by it than you. Tell us about it.
Well, thank you, Mika, and thank you for your messages of support throughout this process. So I have a factory in the garment district in New York City, and a lot of our seamstresses, our head designers, had all experienced verbal abuse or have had things happen to them. And I don't know if you think about it happening to yourself. In March, I was going to the post office in the evening like I usually do. My boxes fell, and then I felt a splash of beer on my back neck, and then another person bumped me and told me to go back to China. It happened so quickly, and I was shocked, frankly, and I just kept going to the post office. I picked up my packages and kept walking. And later that evening, I decided I needed to report it. I was actually called one of my friends, Jane Park, who's also a Know Your Value contributor, and she said, I'm pulling up my laptop and we're going to file this on stopaapihate.org right now. It'll give you some sense of control. I sent a message to Vicky and I said, what do I do? You've been covering this issue. And she sent me the personal phone number for Inspector Stuart Liu, who created the Anti-Asian Hate Crimes Task Force. He actually sent one of his detectives to meet me at the precinct so that I wouldn't be alone and help me file the report. But it was incredible shock. I didn't really understand what happened. I'd seen bits and pieces of it. And Inspector Liu and his team helped me find all the video footage so I could understand it was actually two men who attacked me, not one. But it's taken me almost 2 months to process all of this.
So, Vicky, jump in. You helped out. Tell us, your part of this story, but also what you're hoping everybody can learn from sharing this as well, because there were some roadblocks along the way, and even being believed. It was frustrating but shocking, and also we're seeing this now across the board, a rise in incidents just like these.
Yeah, Mika, what a full circle moment this is. Out of something horrible that happened to Lisa, I am glad that we are having this moment where we all can talk about this on Morning Joe. And what Lisa won't tell you is she went to Yale. She's the CEO of a company, and she has been fearlessly fighting on behalf of her garment workers, who are majority Asian Americans or Asians, who have been working throughout this pandemic. And so she has this armor on behalf of all of her staff. But to be in a position where someone is yelling to her to go back to China when she's been in this country, she is American, she's a small business owner. First, to get over the initial shock of that happening to you, but then going through the process of reporting it, it is traumatic and it can be very, very difficult. She had Jane, who encouraged her to report it to Stop AAPI Hate. But going to the police, new research out of this organization called Launch.org, it's leading Asian Americans to unite for change. They said that Asian Americans are the least likely minority group behind Black Americans, behind Latino Americans, to want to go to the police to involve them in any way, shape, or form. And I found that to be sort of surprising, but also not surprising, because this culturally for us, you don't stick your head out. You don't want to call attention to yourself, even when you are the victim of a crime. So for Lisa to go to the police, and thankfully for the NYPD to actually have a hate crimes task force, was a great first step. And we want to encourage people to know that they have to report, that there are law enforcement agencies and people who care. But law enforcement also needs to know, make it easier on victims, offer multiple languages, offer diverse officers, make sure those officers are trained to properly respond to hate crimes.
All right, that's the message of this story, is to get that voice and to hold on to it tightly. I want to thank you, Vicki, very much for coming on and for helping Lisa. And Lisa Sun, CEO of Gravitas, amazing designs, by the way. I am so sorry about what happened. I appreciate your coming on to share it with us.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.